in that space with other couples, it's just not right now.
Question is, do we still love each other? That's the question.
I don't think it's so.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black But Another One. We're giving you guys a recap review of season 1 of Last Resort 90 Day Fiance episode 6. We're dealing with the fact that Kelly is a runner and a track star. Aselu is a full-time cheat. We have Angela still trying to make moves on Michael through the internet. Jovi and Yara, she let us know that, she has perfectionist syndrome where she has to be perfect because of her mother. That's quite deep in itself. And then there's also Angela, also Liz and Ed, who seem to be very cozied up and sexual in this moment. But there wasn't much to discuss, but I want to discuss more, I guess, focusing on Kelly and Aselu, and I'll probably focus on those two more than the rest of the couples. But before we get to that stage, please do me a massive favor, like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for the notification of the uploads. We are trying to get to 100K. But when we do that, guys, please just help us by subscribing to the channel. If you love the content, if you're liking the content, you're just new here, you go and subscribe by the end, okay? Press that subscribe button now because you're gonna like this video. All right. We're gonna get in some mischief as well. For those of you who are returnees, we didn't know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. All right, let's get into this video. Let's play this. All right, cool. So talking obviously about Kelly and Molly, their struggles just don't seem to end. My biggest thing about Kelly and Molly is Kelly always runs away when it gets tough. It's actually really frustrating to watch. The last episode, it did the same thing. Last episode, he was by the pier. They were talking. It got deep. He then ran away. I was like, bro, where are you going? Why are you running away from the tough conversations? I know you're not hearing the words that you want to hear. You want to hear, I love you. You want to hear, I care about you. You want to hear that I'm still in love with you. But you know that's not reality right now. But she's still here with you. So you've got an opportunity. Start having some real conversations. What is the issues that we are facing right now? How can we rectify some of these situations? How do we work through some of these situations? Right now, she says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That's not necessarily a worse place to be. What that needs to be is that we need to reignite the fire. All it means is with the flames on the barbecue, we can see the embers. The charcoal has gone a little bit gray, but we can start to fan that, and you're going to start to see the fire start to collect on the coals and start to rage. But you need to fan it. There needs to be input. There needs to be time. There needs to be energy. We actually need to learn how to communicate. We need to get deeper into conversation. We need to spend time really building up our intimacy. We need to work on our love languages. We need to work on our hobbies and interests that we both like to do together in order to keep the pair bonding going. Right? We need to start feeling affectionate, touching, hugging. Right? All of that needs to come into play as well, because that's all a part of your relationship. Don't let that go. But if you start every time having a conversation, we're sitting here and we're having a conversation and brother's going to start crying about it and run off, then you're not solving the issue. We're not actually tackling the difficult things that are coming our way. And how are you leading the relationship if every single time you run away? She was literally lying down and he's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Sir, wait.
I can't do this.
Every time is I can't do this, bro. You know what I mean? You've got to learn how to stay in the ring. You can't keep jumping out if you want this situation to change. And you are a part of the catalyst of change. As a leader, as a man in the relationship, you are a part of the catalyst of change. Now, unless that person is really abusive, they are mean unnecessarily, they're ugly with their traits, okay, there's no hope in hell this relationship is going to be saved, then yeah, I understand what you mean. You leave this relationship. But since she's not that person, since that, okay, she can be a little bit cold, I do hear you, but she keeps sitting there with you. So keep telling her, listen, hey, when you address things, it feels cold to me. Here's how I want to be addressed from now on. Okay, what are the things you want me to work on? That's what you need to be doing. You're here with the counselors and not doing the work. You keep running. And it can't be that way. We can't solve our issues if every single time you want to run away, Kelly. Okay, you want to know if she keeps if she still loves you. That's a deeper issue with you. You want the validation, the reality of the situation. She's told you she's not in love with you, but she still has love for you. It can happen. All right. And now she feels that she's on this island by herself. Yet she came with you wanting to solve the issues that you guys had. See, if you focus so much on your pain and you focus so much on you and you don't focus on us, this is what's going to happen. When you want to focus on you and what you feel all the time, and don't get it twisted, I know it hurts. And I understand that you're feeling some things, Kelly, but I need you to understand this needs you to be able to hear another side, another perspective. Let's move on from that couple as well. There was obviously Yara and Yovi and their situation. And I think what's interesting, Yara and Yovi, is it was less to do actually with even their particular relationship. It was just some great individual breakdown between what Yara showed about her, imperfections that she felt in um in herself. Let's just have a little look, because she was she was very hard on herself, and that comes when someone's been hard on you. And she expresses that it was her mother that was very difficult for her as well.
I look like a total whore.
You're not a whore. You got married. That's for your husband. Be your husband's whore in the bed.
I love that breakdown by Angela. Let her know, listen, you can be the whore, but be the whore for your husband. Be the whore for your partner. That is not a bad thing. But her mind is instantly thinking about how she's going to be a whore and how she's already degrading herself and already downplaying herself. And the reason being is, as she mentioned in the show, her mother was very hard on her to a point where she didn't even like her nose. And her mother would say your nose, about her imperfection of her nose. A parent that is overly critical really strikes at the heart of that child. They begin to really self-analyze and self-criticize, and nothing seems to ever be good enough. And they can't be content because they always think they've got to do something better. They always got to strive. They have to be always upright. They always have to do something in order to show that they're worthy of your love and pleasing you. And so that becomes very difficult for a child. And growing up as an adult, I can see how now she has issues. That perfectionist spirit can also affect your relationship because every move has to be curated. And she speaks about her confidence, how it's not as much as Jovi's, because he did pageants and stuff like that. But you need to be aware of yourself, sis, that it's okay. And I think there may be some time that you spend with a counselor singular to work on that issue within yourself. That's not your husband's issue. That's a you issue. Now, your husband has got some other issues. He rather asks for forgiveness than ever ask for permission. He's a problem because he does that regularly. You can see in his eyes. Oh, he takes you for granted. If every single time he wants to ask for permission, ask for forgiveness rather than permission, he takes you for granted. And that kind of behavior is dangerous to the long-term objective of a relationship. You're not putting me first, right? Let's talk a little bit about Aselu and Kalani, and we'll end there because the rest of the couples weren't really doing anything. Ed and Liz, very sexual, very naughty, very enticing. We saw them having a great time in the couple's intimacy. They definitely got to a better place. We saw Liz actually apologize to Angela and let her know that, that she was sorry for how things turned out for him. And she's learned now how to defend her man, because at the point where she was with him, he was complaining that she wasn't defending him the way that needed to. Fair. And they can see that the couples therapy is working. One for her, one for him. It's working for them. They're starting to see each other better and understand where each other person's coming from. That's what we need for freaking Kelly and Molly at this point in time as well. Then talking about obviously Aselu and Kalani. I probably might do a separate video, but let me know, guys, what couple would you want me to break down more on this episode, the latest episode? Which couple would you want me to break down further? Let's talk about Aselu and Kalani, because let me tell you something, the revelation is crazy.
Years of time, and I still don't even forgive him for the he did in the beginning.
What happened in the beginning?
From the beginning?
Yeah.
So
now, before she says anything, we don't need to go any further. We know exactly what he was saying. He's been cheating the whole entire relationship. Do you know how mad that is? I'm so sorry. Yeah, baby, let it go. Let it go. Like Elsa said, let it go. He can be sorry, but it's too late to apologize. Okay, One Republic. Look, If you are going to be cheating from the very beginning of the relationship and you've been holding it down so that whole entire time, you can't even be sure if you can trust your worthiness of how you value yourself. You can't even trust your esteem on whether you value yourself, because you were willing to accept and see him cheating from the very beginning of the relationship up until now. The last 3 years, he's been cheating like there's nobody's business, and you have stayed. You've not checked him. And now it's at a point where you're even going to even date another man underneath his nose just to spite him. You're already in a bad place, sis. I need you to get out, go out and heal. I need you to grab one of those counselors and tell them, listen, I need counseling alone. I don't need to be in this relationship right now. I cannot give him what he needs. I'm about to do what's mad and what's nasty. I'm about to do some freaky stuff to another guy. I'm thinking about another guy while I'm masturbating. I'm thinking about another person while I'm with Aselu. I can't look at Aselu and be comfortable. I look at Aselu and I want to be sick. I look at Aselu and I think to myself, I don't even want to be here. When you're having those consistent thoughts, you do not need to be in that relationship right now. I'm not saying even divorce. I'm saying separate. I'm saying give yourself some time. Because right now, somebody has broken the vows and they have cheated on you from the beginning of the relationship to now. How much can you take, Kalani, before you break? How much can you take before you break? I need you to work on you. I need you to get better boundaries. I need you to go and work on your esteem and your worth. I need you to go and do those things, because it's really not it. If he's been cheating for the last 3 years and you've accepted it, it says more about you than it says about him. Yeah, he doesn't value you. Clearly. No matter how much he cries right now and says, I don't want to feel like I'm a bad guy. You've been cheating from the beginning. You are a bad guy. It's that simple. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate